Hey y'all, Tammy here, and I just finished the editing on the video of what do you do if you get sick or injured on the trail. And a couple of things I want to make sure that I get across is I've probably walked maybe 3,000 miles over a period of maybe 4 or 5 months, and my injuries have been very minimal. Very minimal. But at 63, I think it's important that we take the precautions in case we get sick. And so don't let this video scare you from going on the trail. I would go in a heartbeat. Matter of fact, I'm planning my next one. So I want to encourage you, you know what, do it. But if you take the steps that I talked about, I think you're going to have really a great peace of mind. All right, please leave me your comments because I know I did not touch everything. And if there's anything that I missed or any questions that you have, please put it in the comments. Okay, I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Ciao.
Hi friends, Tammy Craft here. Just want to talk to you today in this video about something that really does not get discussed much, and that is what do you do if you face injury or illness while you're on the trail. So Donna and I just got back from the Via de la Plata, and it was our third day out, and she came down with the flu. Later, I had a pretty nasty fall, and she was threatened and bit by a sheepdog, so it was a pretty eventful trip. I have walked the Camino de Santiago from St. Jean to Santiago. I've walked the Camino Portuguese from Porto to Santiago and the Muxia down to Finisterre. I've walked the Via Francigena, which is from Switzerland to Rome, and I've walked 1,000 miles on the Appalachian Trail. And so during these time, it's been the experience of being attacked by dogs, stung by bees, confronted with bears, fallen down multiple times, had stomach problems from bad water. I found that these principles really have helped me live to walk another day. And I want to share those with you. All right, the first one is preparation. What is in your first aid kit? The kit doesn't have to be massive. It doesn't have to weigh much, and I know that's always a factor, but it should include such things as painkillers, antihistamine, antidiarrheal medicine. Most recently I've added Benadryl to mine because when we were on the AT, got stung by bees, Donna had a reaction, and we really did not have anything for her to bring the swelling down. I have Vaseline in mine, I have Band-Aids, gauze, Q-tips, duct tape works great, and then also have some type of tweezers, and maybe even like an emergency whistle. Attach that to your backpack, that way if something happens or you're confronted by an aggressive animal, you can always use that. So as you can see, my first aid kit is not very big, but I do have it packed and ready to go at all times. All I have to do is just pick it up and throw it in my bag. I also would recommend that you put this where it's really accessible. I fell this last trip, and so I had to reach into my bag, get my backpack off, reach into my bag, and do some triage for that. So the most common injury that you're going to have on the trail is probably going to be blisters or sunburn. All of those walks that I've told you about, I've never had an issue with blisters. And I think the reason that I haven't is I've really prepared. I've made sure that my shoes are a half size too big. They're broken in. They're specifically designed for hiking, not running, not walking, but hiking. And then I wear smart wool socks, and I take about 4 pair with me each trip. So to avoid blisters is, pamper your feet. Make sure you're stopping every 2 to 3 hours, taking your shoes and socks off, giving them time to dry. If you notice a hot spot, stop before it becomes a problem. Put a little Vaseline on it. Donna is a fan of Vicks. Personally, I just like Vaseline. All right, part of this preparation also is hiking poles. I never walk without my hiking poles, and it doesn't matter if I'm on very flat terrain or very hilly and mountainous. I found that hiking poles really give me the upper hand, keep me from falling, and they're great for stability and also to ward off unwanted animals. I use mine as a selfie stick too, and it just works when I'm recording my blog. To wrap up this, preparation, it's important that you know the difficulty of your hike, the length of your hike, and your own body. If you're not feeling well, or if there is extreme weather, just stop and regroup. I think that's very important. All right, number 2, create a contingency plan. And the contingency plan should include what do you do if you fall and you need medical treatment. What are you going to do if you get sick on the trail? You know your own medical conditions, and so I would say think them through. You know, a quick Google search really gives you an idea of what you can expect on the trail. I know before I go on every trip, I always get a guidebook, and it will be upfront about, you know, what's available medical care wise, and what you can do in case of an emergency. So I rely on those. Another thing that I do is I have a Garmin InReach Mini. When we were on the Appalachian Trail, it's pretty remote and primitive. Or if you're hiking by yourself and you get injured, this is a great option. And we always felt very safe with it, because if we got lost or if we got to a place where we needed medical care, we could always use this to radio for help. So talking about that contingency plan, most countries in Europe, you can get what you need at the pharmacy, and then you are entitled to emergency care if you're not a native of that country. My first trip out, Camino de Santiago, I got shin splints really bad, and I decided to keep on walking, but I went to a local pharmacy, and pretty much every village will have a pharmacy in them. I went in and she gave me the medicine that I needed, which was painkillers and a little bit of cream. This last trip, when Dada got sick, she immediately went to a pharmacy and was given some medicine. She got nipped by a dog, and we just walked into Meridian. The first thing that we did was walk to a pharmacy to find out what we needed for that. So in addition to what was in our kit, we also can go to the pharmacy. So it might be a great time to think about what would you do if a sheepdog in Italy, I was attacked by a sheepdog. I walked by, I did everything that I was supposed to do, but I just turned my head a little bit and looked at it, and it just came after me. And so if you are attacked, you stay calm and avoid panicking. Running away or shouting can really escalate the situation, but it's important to remember that sheepdogs are working animals and should really never ever be approached or disturbed while they're on the job. And that includes if they're just laying down and napping. So be sure to include these elements in your contingency plan. You know, what are you going to do if you encounter an animal? Think that through before it happens. What are you going to do if you fall and you're worried about that? I would recommend the Garmin InReach Mini, and I'll put a link in the description to that. All right, and the third thing that gives me such peace of mind is travel insurance. I do not buy the travel insurance in case I miss flights or they, lose my bags, because generally I'm flying with my backpack and it's the carry-on. But why I buy it is so that I can get the medical care I need while I am in that country, and I can be medevac back to my home country. So I think it's very important that you get travel insurance. It's literally pennies on the dollar, and it's the best investment that I make as an older single woman when I travel, or even when I travel in groups. All right, so those are the 3 essential things that I recommend you do before your hike that will give you peace of mind during your hike. And that is, number 1 is, prepare ahead. Think through what would happen if you do get sick. The most common kinds of illness are going to be like a cold or a stomach virus, and so make sure that you have medicine to address that. Blisters, another very common thing. Sunburn, make sure you've got lip balm and a good hat and sunscreen. Very important. Number 2, have a contingency plan. Know what you will do if you fall, if you get sick. Don't wait until it's too late and you're just, making decisions when maybe you're not feeling well enough to make them. And number 3, the last thing I'm going to recommend is travel insurance.
And one more thing, if you got some valuable information or my videos have really answered some questions, please hit subscribe and notify. I think as older travelers, we may not have as many travel videos as we should, but I don't think traveling is for the young. I think we've earned it, and so I just want to continue to share. So hit subscribe. Thanks.